Friday, everybody. Shout out to OG's Brands, the official sponsor of Flavoring Fridays. Head on over to ogsbrands.com to see their full lineup, including their two newest gummies, the OG's Naturals and the Big OGs, and find out where you can purchase. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey, Craig, and Danielle. This is, I think, the first time the three of us have sat on a set together in over a month.
Really?
Or did we do it last week?
Did we do it last week?
Yeah. I blocked that out.
Who the heck can remember?
Never mind.
Too much going on.
How's everybody doing today? It's been a busy morning.
It has been a busy morning. It was a late night for some of us too.
Yeah. And you were not even at the celebrity gala.
I was not.
Meanwhile, I was in bed before 10:30.
Oh, the stories I'd have to tell if I were at the celebrity waiter gala last night.
If you were there, let us know in the chat. We would love to hear from you. First things first, Craig is following through on a bet that was made.
Mm-hmm.
And
happily.
Thank you to everybody who helped raise money for Heidi's Village.
Right. That was cool.
Yeah,
in a day.
Amazing.
In a day.
Yeah. Amazing to see the community come together for the community. So can you show them off on the camera?
This is for all of you,
if you're
and
listening
especially
on audio,
for you, Greg
into
Dunaway.
The
You ready?
YouTube.
I wish we had like some sultry music to play while I lift my pant leg here.
I don't. I'm glad we don't. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yep. The ketchup socks.
There it is, baby.
And surprisingly, they don't distract from his horrifically coordinated outfit as it is already.
Holy shit. Shots fired from the gut.
And it goes as well as the shirt and pants do, so it fits.
This is about as flavoring Fridays as it gets.
Craig, I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I like the socks.
This is coming from the man currently wearing capris. So
I do like the socks. I think that is brilliant. And moreover, I like the socks because you're wearing them for an outstanding cause. Because we all love animals on this entire show.
Yes.
And the magic behind the Mac. I know she loves animals too, so we all do here.
Support Heidi's Village. Support the shelters.
Yep.
Support dogs.
Yep.
And
cats. Go adopt.
And
go
if
foster.
you can't adopt,
go donate your time or money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Donate your time or money.
Yep. Absolutely.
Do we all have adoptions?
Thanks for getting the socks, by
I
the way,
have an
Greg.
adopted cat.
I have an adopted dog.
Yeah.
You adopted.
Yeah.
We all adopted.
Yeah, and so did Danielle.
We have a cat. Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, great.
There you go.
Awesome. See, good vibes to start the show.
Good vibes.
There's a lot we're going to, because the vibes in the third segment, I'm not sure. We're going to host a kangaroo court to come figure out. We're going to get to the bottom of the Circle K snack theft. More to come on that. We're going to talk about the latest news. I'm sure a lot of you know what we're talking about, and some other news and notes from the Coyotes. And but first, we're going to start with the Tucson Roadrunners, because you had the chance to catch up with Tucson Roadrunners head coach Steve Potvin. You both had the chance to catch up with Tucson Roadrunners forward Josh Doan. And it feels like we should check in on them because they, unlike the Coyotes, they are winning. No offense.
Yeah. Wrote a story on Steve that I got up just before I came in today. So you can read that on gophnx.com. The thrust of the story for me is like, this team is contending for a Pacific Division title. This team could make a deep playoff run. And when you look at the team, I'm not so sure you'd come away with that impression. This is a hardworking team. As Bill Armstrong said, this team just doesn't take no for an answer. They work their freaking asses off, and they are making things happen down there. And Steve Potvin and his staff, John Slade, we can talk about all the guys down there, Petey, that we know very well. John Slade, Charlie McTavish is the goalie coach. They're making good things happen with this team, and that is part of the process of building a successful franchise. Having success at the AHL level matters. We're going to start seeing a lot more of their top prospects filter through there in the next couple seasons. It's going to be really interesting. But as Bill said, they don't have the stacked roster like the Hershey Bears have yet. Here the Tucson Roadrunners are right in contention for a Pacific Division title. Props to Steve Potvin. Please read that story. I sent you guys this two-part quote from Potts when he was talking about what he learned, like both being in the game and then when he stepped away and learned how much he missed it. I said this to you guys. It felt almost mystic. This quote was so good.
Yeah.
I felt like it was Steve Potvin sitting in a cave on top of a mountain with players like scaling the rocks to come seek wisdom from him because it was such an amazing quote.
It's funny because we talked to him a few weeks ago on the Audio Only podcast too. And it is like talking to a shaman or a wise man,
right?
Like his insight, and he's just calm, and he's very introspective, and he's very, very thoughtful, and everything he says and does for that team is very purposeful, and it's to one mission, and it's not to win. That's not the mission. That's not what I was going to say. His mission is to get those players better prepared for the next level, and that's been his mantra. He's unbelievable. He has really surprised me how well he's taken this, because when he was first hired, and I'm going to try to say this as nicely as I can. He was a skills coach for youth hockey at the ice den for little kids.
Yeah, junior Coyotes.
And he was hired. Honestly, he was hired because, one, he was available at the time, and two, he was really close friends with Steve Sullivan, and they were really close. And you go, okay, well, he's going to go help out with some skill development. He's a fine third assistant. He'll be fine. He's a good guy. We all like him. Good person. But, that's probably the end of it. He'll be there to help their skill stuff. And my goodness, yes, he's worked just as hard at that as he did when he was a player. Like, he has improved so much. He is such a good coach. And there's so much more to coaching than knowing X's and O's. It's a part of it. You need to know that. But honestly, there's so many more important things, and he checks the boxes. Like, you just wanted to go play for the guy. I thoroughly impressed what he's doing and what's happening down there. And you heard Josh Doan kind of reverberate some of those responses yesterday when we got a chance to talk to Josh. And this is a team that you never know how they're going to do because of injuries and call-ups and so on. But he's been able to guide his team through all that. And this sounds like a really close group.
Yeah. And you talk about today's players, right? The different needs of today's players. Here's a quote from Connor Garland that's in the story as well. This is the second half of it. He was also way ahead of his time with dealing with younger players and the sensitivity and personalities, mine included, and how to get the best out of them for the day and for the future. I know countless guys that would give him lots of credit for their AHL and NHL success. He wasn't even the head coach at that time, but G talked about just what a really elite power play coach he was, and the different ways in which he helped him. He's been doing this for a while. The resume, when you look at it, you mentioned, he came right from the junior Coyotes. That's probably why he's not getting mentioned in NHL circles. Like when you look at the up and coming guys like Jay Verity and Mike Van Ryn, they both had juniors experience. They had been in the AHL. They had they had checked all those boxes. People knew who they were. They had worked with these people. They had relationships. Potts doesn't have that, but at some point, people are going to start taking notice of what he's doing down there.
And the other thing that I think can't be overlooked too is you talk about his relationship with young players. And we've seen success and unsuccessful coaches at handling that type of player right now during this current, the current environment's different, and you have to handle those players differently. If you don't know how to handle them, you can't succeed in today's NHL. I really believe that. And when you talk to Steve Potvin, you feel good. He's positive.
That's the truth, isn't it?
He's happy even when things are bad. It's not. Hey, we get in that here at work. Like we get negative and I don't know, you get in that rut and you have bad days. He doesn't. Mm-hmm. I wish him the best of success. I hope he stays with the franchise. I hope he can continue to succeed down in Tucson because I love his fit down there. But I also wish him the best future that's possible for him.
Yeah, and you know what? It's going to show into the way Tucson's playing. They're 29-15-2, second in the Pacific behind Coachella Valley. They play Bakersfield tonight and tomorrow. Bakersfield's 7th in the Pacific, so hopefully
winnable games.
Yeah, these are some winnable games. And I mentioned already, you guys talked to Josh Doan. That's an audio-only podcast that you can listen to now anytime on your favorite podcasting app. Doan, with Gunther getting the call to Tucson, Doan leads the team in goals and points right now, which I think is really great to see, not only because he's a Doan, but because he was, a high second-round pick for this team. And you want to, there was some uncertainty for a while, I think, with him. Would he pan out to be, a successful prospect? And so far, he's kind of proving that he is.
Yeah, it's the one thing interesting with him too. After talking to Josh, is you get the sense of the camaraderie down there, and I think Josh is part of the glue that makes that happen. I know he's just a rookie, but you got the sense in talking to him that he is a leader down there already.
Yep,
and
Potts will tell you that too.
Craig, I know we always say encourage to listen to the stuff that we put out there. I know we do that. This is one that I think if you've followed the legacy of Shane Doan at all and what he's done for this franchise and this state when it comes to hockey, I think it's important you listen to this because I think you really see that Doan torch being handed down. I really do. Like, unbelievably classy, intelligent, thoughtful kid, but he said the right things. And I'm excited to see where he progresses in his career because I've always said he's too small. I said that when he was littler. He's too small. He's a good offensive player, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. And got into college, and I go, yeah, well, his defensive game's not there. And his skating, I'm not so sure about. And in the American League, I said, well, gosh, he might be at the bottom of the heap. And then he just
21
continues.
goals.
He just continues. To do this.
And he works at these things. Like he talked about the work he's doing on his shot. That's really helped him become a goal scorer. Although his dad will say I don't want him to think he can score his way into the league. And he's telling other people, but he's already told Josh. So I don't know why he's telling us. But that's shame.
But you're right. And Josh he's broken through everything that everybody's ever put in front of him.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure he'll ever be an NHL player every day. You just keep watching.
Somebody said this to me a long time ago about him. I would not bet against Josh Doan.
I wouldn't either.
I kind of agree.
Yep.
Yeah, and we talk a lot when we talk about Tucson the call-ups, and we've seen a couple guys get the call-up. Michael Kesselring, he's been up so long, I think we almost forget that he was part of the Roadrunners earlier this year. Another guy who came up and never looked back, of course, is Dylan Guenther. I think that one came a little bit as a surprise to us. We were for sure wrong at the time that we said, no, he's going to stay. But he hasn't looked back since he's gotten the call up. Will he go back eventually? We'll get to that in a second. But you guys had asked Josh about Guenther getting called up and what his outlook was. Is he happy for him? Is he jealous? And he kind of not only touched on that, but the team's mentality to call ups and recalls as a whole. I thought he gave a great answer. So let's take a listen.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is being happy for guys, and Guntz was. I mean, if you ask anyone in that locker room, when they kind of said there was a 2 or 3 day or game opportunity, we all kind of chuckled that he won't be back. Like he's been so good for us, and he's so determined to get up there and be there and stick that he'll get the job done one way or the other. So we were all pumped because he's a guy that had battled the last year of playing in the NHL, then playing in junior, then hoping to start in the NHL, and then sending him back down to us to work on some things. And he stayed positive throughout the whole thing. And there's no guy it's easier to be happy for. But it's once you go out the year and there's guys going up and down, and that's one thing our group has been so good at is I haven't seen – I understand how it can be impactful for guys to be like, well, I should be going up over this guy. But it's been in our room where we haven't seen that at all year. And I think that's part of what's made our group so special is like Ryan McGregor got called up for a bit. And I don't think there was a guy in the room that left for 20 minutes because we were all sitting there talking with him, laughing. And he was in shock for a little bit. And we were all so pumped for him because of how much he deserved that opportunity. And Kirky goes up and down all the time, and every time we see him, we say it sucks to see you again, but welcome back, and we kind of just move on. But I think it's something where every guy in that room wants to get to that level and wants to be there. And in the back of your head, it's the end goal is to play well enough to make the NHL. But it's like as a kid, you grow up with the idea of if you're going to be jealous of everyone else, and it's not usually going to work out the way you want it. So you got to be happy for every guy that goes.
This is supposed to be an audio only episode. So first off, wow, was I white? Like I don't think I wasn't sick, but whew.
Wow, that was some.
Secondly, can we appreciate how much time Josh put into creating a set for that
Yeah,
show.
well, his background.
The closet door that was partially open.
It was supposed to be audio only.
I'm just giving him crap.
Yeah, but in front of his open closet door.
Yes, exactly.
And it is
Still
funny.
better than Clayton Keller that one time.
Oh my God, that was the worst interview we've ever done at PHNX. He did it in
Not
the dark.
in content.
Witness
in,
protection,
in
yeah.
visuals.
Yeah, you could put a light on. Well, no. Like, it was literally in the dark. It was horrific.
Tell them about Max Zuber though.
But
toward the end of this,
so it was funny listening to this because we talk to the NHL guys. You got guys 25 to 35, and you got kids, and you got going to school. And we just had Bukestad the other day. He's an adult man. These guys are the Roadrunners. They're kids. They're all living nearby. They live in apartments. They all share. He said something like 12 guys in the same complex. Not him.
Yeah, they
He's
live
near
just
that
down the street.
complex.
Yeah.
But they're all. It's just like kids. He lives with Zuba and Ratti.
The best names to say on the
so
tweet.
he lives with them, and he got to tell us the stories about who. I'm not going to give it away because I want you to listen. Who does the cooking? Who does the cleaning? But as you'll hear when you listen to the interview, right towards the tail end, you'll hear a knock on the door, and Josh, well, he can't see, but he turns his head to see Max Zuba came into the room and wanted to play Catan. Like he said, "Are you done yet?" Like he wants to play Catan.
Get off your live appearance.
Get up. We want to play Catan, which I don't know what it is, but I Googled it. It's apparently it's a board game.
It is.
And it gets very aggressive with these young men. They're very like you steal
So
properties and not properties, but countries and things, and I guess it gets quite heated.
Yeah,
in these matchups between the rows. So please listen. It's a really good listen, and you find out about a really good kid.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah, he really it really comes through, and it came through in that clip. But now the question is, and we'll talk more later, like closer to the trade deadline, who could potentially come up from Tucson to fill in. But for now, we're going to talk about who could go down to Tucson, because if we're being realistic, the Coyotes are not making the playoffs. The Roadrunners right now are poised too, so they're going to go on a run. Who on the current Coyotes roster could go down and help them out on that run?
I'm going to put this out right now. I'm pretty sure Michael Kesselring is going to go down. I think Dylan Gunther will go down for the playoffs as well. I don't think this is going to happen soon, right? You just have to make that paper move by a certain deadline so that they can all play. The one that I think they need to discuss, and this has to happen, with the player, with the agent, is Logan Cooley. I think Logan Cooley could benefit so much from playing in the AHL playoffs. Look, the last 2 months of this season are going to be a kind of a death march, right? We got the trade deadline coming up, and then meaningless games, not meaningful games, the rest of March and April. Let Logan Cooley finish things out, do what you need to do, but I really think playing in those sorts of meaningful games, getting a sense of a pro playoff, doesn't matter that it's the AHL level, would be really good for Logan Cooley to experience that. I know he hasn't played with these guys. He may not have the chemistry. I think he could develop it. He's an incredibly skilled player that could help that team. I just think this is a good thing for him. I hope that Logan Cooley's camp isn't closed off to that idea, because I really think there's benefit to it.
It's interesting because I agree again with the first. I think Kesselring and Gunther will both do that. And I think Gunther will go at it with the right approach. I really do, because of what he's been through over the last year and a half. And I think he's put in a lot of hard time in that Tucson Roadrunner team. And he earned the right to be a part of that playoff team. And I think he'll go at it with the right headspace. I don't know about Cooley. I don't disagree. Playing those important games in the springtime are incredibly valuable for your development. I'm not sure where his head is.
Yeah.
Because you don't often see guys that have played the entirety of the season with the NHL club getting sent down. You see players like Shane Wright, which is interesting. He was the first overall. Well, he wasn't the first overall. He was going to be the first overall pick, and he ended up sliding in the draft. But he's still in the American League. And that first year, he was up and down a little bit before his permanent assignment to the AHL. With Cooley, you've seen him been with the big club all season long.
Yeah.
I think it will end up being clearly it'll be a discussion, including the agent and the player and the GM, to see if they can come to terms what's best for the player. I know Craig and I think playing important games that are ramped up. Let's face it, the last 30 games of the Coyotes, there is no intensity there.
Yep.
No one gives a shit. They're counting them down. So let's get into some meaningful games. Let them ramp up the intensity. I'm curious to see where that goes.
I just don't understand the opposition to it at this point. Like, what is it, like, beneath you?
I don't know.
That's if that's the case, that's troubling.
I will tell this story. I don't think I'm going to call the player out. We'll see how mad I get as I tell the story. I've been in the coach's room for 20 years, and often players coming back from injury have the option to go down, and you can condition up to 2 weeks in the American League. And under Tippett, it wasn't much of it never really happened. It was a guy that was a younger player that had spent time in the American League. You might see it. Under Rick Tocchet, it was like, you're going to go. Like, you need to play games, go. And it wasn't mandated because they couldn't mandate it, but it was a very strong suggestion. And you saw NHL players go down and play. You saw Antti Ranta go down and play. You saw Jason Demers go down and play. Yeah. You saw injured players go down and play. And there was one player that was, you need to go down and play games. He said, I'm not an American League player. I'm not going. And I was stunned and very disappointed in the young man. And so that was the attitude that you go, wait a minute, like you've been hurt. We just go play. The attitude that it was beneath you was just shocking to me and really disappointing. So I don't get the feeling that that's who Logan Cooley's personality is. Now, what the agent and the management work out is beyond them. I don't want to see Cooley go, I'm not going to the American League.
You know what's odd about that? Baseball does that all the time when guys are coming back. It's good for them.
It's almost mandatory, right? They go to, he went down and play on the AAA. He pitched the AAA. He pitched in spring league, or he batted. He had to get some at-bats down in the minors. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a psychological thing in hockey. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Chris said as far as the Daniel
didn't miss the tee yet.
What?
He didn't miss the tee, Daniel. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I thought you said Danielle. I was like, what? Oh, Chris said pressure is pressure and it benefits to experience playoffs even one level down. And then Charles said, imagine how loaded the Roadrunners could be with the eligible reinforcements that the Coyotes could supply. It would definitely be a good experience for the younger guys. Is there any other guy on the Coyotes besides those three you could see going down? No. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but it could be exciting for Tucson. So,
and we've talked about Craig's looked into the eligibility thing. It's just a paperwork filing that needs to occur by a certain date. So it's not like there's anything beyond that.
Yeah.
Well, could be exciting for the Roadrunners. We'll continue to keep tabs on that. And as always, make sure you check out that audio only episode with Josh Doan. Before we move on, I want to tell everybody about Prize Picks. If you've never heard of Prize Picks, it's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. And I always talk about how I love different app user friendliness, and Prize Picks is one of those. Their color scheme, purple. I know this is like not the thing that everyone's focusing on. This is what I lock in on. Amazing. And the best part is it's so easy to use because instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stats and combos, projections, and watch the winnings roll in. It's really simple to play. You can make your picks and submit an entry in less than 60 seconds, which that's the best part. And you can get quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. So
it's purple.
And it's purple.
Just saying. If you missed the earlier.
Yeah. Most importantly, it's purple. Go to prizepicks.com/PHNX and use code PHNX for a first deposit match up to $100. They are giving away money. That's prizepicks.com/PHNX and use code PHNX. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
Do the Coyotes play next Tuesday?
They do.
Oh, that's too bad because I think Craig Morgan was planning on spending the evening with Bad Bunny at the Footprint Center because he will be there next Tuesday. And J-Lo is coming to the Footprint Center in July. And most importantly, Craig may do this right from the show once I tell him who's playing tonight at Celebrity Theater. Styx is in town at Celebrity Theater. Wow. And you can get all of those tickets on Game Time. Even though the concert's tonight, you can get them on Game Time. I just looked. You can go to Styx tonight on Game Time. Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. It's the fastest-growing ticket app in the country for a reason. Get those tickets without stress at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
All right.
There's a lot of pressure with Max in the room.
Chicago, I'm just saying.
Like with Max in the room.
Yeah, as Max is making a ruckus over there.
You've got to nail. You have to nail the reads with Max in the room.
I know.
Because if you don't get it just right, he gets the phone call.
Yeah, he was actually faking restocking over there while he was listening to you. So
yeah.
I would like to think you guys nail it.
Max
we don't.
He hopes we nail it when he's not around. Petey never does.
I sound like I have marbles in my mouth.
You didn't hear that comment, did you?
What?
Nothing.
No. All right. Let's move on. There was a lot of news.
Yeah, I heard it.
There's a lot of news today, and I'm gonna just throw it over to Craig for this.
Yeah. I think everybody by now has seen the video circulating of Adam Ružička. Recent acquisition. He hadn't been with the team 4 weeks yet. With a powdered substance and a card, and yeah, it didn't look good. Well, the Coyotes placed him on unconditional waivers with the purposes of terminating his contract. My understanding is that will happen tomorrow. The NHLPA has 60 days to file a grievance if they choose to. And so people are wondering about this as well. My understanding is that Adam Ružička is going to enter the Players Assistance Program. So that's about all I can say on that. It's just, like if the guy has a problem, you hope he gets the help he needs, because that was a poor decision. And that's what happens sometimes with substance abuse. When you're in the throes of it, you don't make good decisions, and that was not a good decision. His career with the Coyotes is over. Hopefully he'll get the help he needs and maybe get a chance to come back at some point.
I want to address this from a different angle. I agree with the substance abuse part, Craig. I know nothing about that world. I don't have those issues. I know people who have had issues, and it's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And I feel so sorry for Adam Ružička. I hope he gets some help and he can get his life back on track. That's out of the way. But my next step, what, like, we didn't deal with this when we were kids. Leah did, because she's of a different generation, but we didn't have this pressure of the social media and the approval of others and showing off on social media and, hey, look at me, look what I can do. We didn't have that mentality. If we did, we had to do it with our neighborhood and jumping over a couple of logs on a ramp of wood. Like that we would do. I had Tonka trucks lined up. Hey, look what I can do. But I didn't have everybody had to see what I could do. And I'm wondering the headspace you have to be in to go, okay, this is a good idea.
Right.
And I know that that you don't make good decisions when you have difficulties with those things. But that was a poor decision.
Yeah.
To put that, if he would have knocked on Bill Armstrong's door this morning without putting the video, without posting this and said, Bill Armstrong, as my general manager, I've got a problem. I'm not sure what to do about it. Can you help me? The wheels would get in motion. I know this organization would help. I know the league would help. The PA would help. There are mechanisms to help people. Yep. It's unfortunate the way he went about getting his help was to plaster this out into the universe. Because one of the other things that happens, and the director of security, Jim O'Neill, has been there for an incredibly long time. The first week of training camp, the first week when all the players are still there, the mandatory have to sit through a video. And the video is about the dangers that are out there in the real world and the scammers that are about there in the real world and the alcohol and drug things that are out there in the real world. And it has a whole section on social media. And it's just be more aware. And that to me is, I'm glad he's going to get the help, and it's unfortunate the way it happened. But why would you do it that way? Why do you have to do it that way? And I'm angry at him because it was stupid. And I wish he would have done it differently. I hope he gets the help. But please, to everybody, it's not showing off. It's not bragging. It's not cool. Like, I don't get it. Anyway, that's my little 2 cents of soapbox. Don't put everything you do on social media as I'm putting everything I do on social media.
All right. Well, we will move on from this topic and talk about some other news to come out of this morning that I found very interesting that Craig had tweeted out this morning. If you missed it, I will just read exactly what Craig said. And this is all courtesy of the Coyotes. So they said that they have had 4 games at Mullett Arena this season that topped 1 million in gross ticket sales. Toronto, Boston, Edmonton, and the upcoming Chicago game. Pittsburgh and the first Chicago game topped 950,000. And to put this into some context, 37 total gates of $1 million in 18 seasons in Glendale.
Including playoffs. People had asked me that. Including playoffs.
4 over $1 million this season at Mullett compared to 37 over $1 million in 18 seasons in Glendale, including playoffs. Very interesting numbers.
It is. And again, listen, I want to attach all the qualifiers to any financial news that I get because I haven't seen the books, which is why I say this is what the Coyotes are saying. Do I believe it's possible, even likely? Yeah, I do, actually, for those games. Those were incredibly popular. They're expensive tickets. There were a lot of fans in town for those games. So, yeah, they foresaw this coming all along. Do I think that the whole Mullett Arena experience is more profitable? No, we've talked about they don't get parking revenue because that goes to ASU. They don't get ancillary revenues that they would get at other arenas. All that still exists there, but that's interesting to me right there, that they can do what they did at Mullett Arena, and they couldn't do that in Glendale.
And it really shows how bad Glendale was.
That's the thing. Like, I get furious with people who just like, oh, it's if they had won and they could get the people out there. People will drive. I'm in Chicago and I drive. Yeah, I grew up in Chicago and I drove. We talked about this on a previous show. People don't do that here. I don't know why. They behave differently here. They do.
It's true.
Sorry. You can't just cite the way it works in your market and say it should work the same here. Yeah. Markets are different. There's different dynamics at play here. And we knew all along. We kept saying this. I'm not saying it's the only factor. You got to win. You got to have stable ownership. You got to have a lot of things to have success. But you need to be in the right location here. Glendale was not it. And I can't underscore that enough. Had they built that place in Los Arcos, I'm not saying they would have killed it. They definitely would have had more fans. They would have had more revenue coming in if they had been in that location. And that's what every successive ownership group has found. That's what the league has found. They understand what the dynamics are of this city that force you to be on this side of town. Corporate base, season ticket base, wealth base, population base. It's all over here.
Yeah, it's funny, though, even when you talk about winning, the playoffs, they showed up. It's playoffs. But you're right. Even in the seasons where they were a team battling for the playoff spots, Tuesday nights, Wednesday night, Thursday night, they didn't draw exceptionally well, even when they were winning. Weekends, yes. Playoffs, yes. It was a hard building to get to. And even now, I've talked to somebody literally today, well, with the problem at Mullett, why don't they just go back to Glendale? I'm like, buddy, you don't.
That's where all the problems began.
First of all, they can't. And second of all, it doesn't work there. And I just want to say this about the Glendale and the team financials. That's great that they're making money. That the ticket revenue is in Tempe. That's great. Craig and I talked about this right before we went on air today. Sometime, at some point in this franchise, we want the owner, and it could be Alex Morello, to want to win in sports, specifically in the sport of hockey. Not a guy that's looking for a real estate deal. Not for a guy that's looking at all the periphery. And we've seen that in Steve Ellman. He didn't want to win he didn't want a hockey team.
Yeah, he just wanted Westgate.
He wanted Westgate.
Yep.
Then you got the Canadian group. They didn't want to win. They wanted to have fun and have a good investment to get a return on investment. You need an owner. If your team really, truly is going to be successful and make the playoffs, you need an owner that is committed and serious about winning and improving in the sport. Not the ancillary, not the periphery, in the sport you're playing.
How many of those we have in this city?
I really don't know. I don't know. Like I saw the one owner of a team that we will unname that went really well in their playoffs, and he threatened to leave.
We named it on the show the other day.
Like, how the hell do you do that? You make it to the pinnacle of your sport, and then, oh, by the way, fans, for all the blood, sweat, and tears you put in last season, you know what? We just might leave you.
We're going to throw out this threat of relocation.
We're going to threaten you.
Yeah.
Does that bond you with your? I don't get it.
No, it's just a dumb thing to say.
Sorry. They made a lot of money at Tempe.
I want to also just offer this unique perspective on Mullett Arena. Again, qualify everything with all the issues. But I have a friend who he works in the agency, very sports adjacent world, and he was recently in town during Waste Management Open, but he got out to a game at Mullett. And he, he's really connected, and he was at the game with somebody who is relatively high up in the NBA. And it was both of their first experiences at Mullett. And when they left, the guy in the NBA said, this could be the future of sports, a small live experience where that's costs more to get in, but it's small, intimate, because he was blown away by the in-game experience. And then, more like the focus more is on the production of watching the games outside of being in the arena. And I thought that was really interesting. I never thought about it that way, and I'm not giving even my opinion on that opinion.
That is interesting,
but it was the first time that I heard somebody like specifically call out that could be something that
scarcity of tickets, right? Scarcity of tickets really drives demand, and I get that from an economic standpoint. My problem with that model would be that it prices the people that normally used to sit. You're driving away fans.
No, totally,
or potential fans. Yeah.
I'm just.
But it could be it could be the Netflix to the movie theater scenario down the road. Like it'd be.
That's true. As the home viewing experience becomes better and better and profitable. Sure.
Maybe.
Anyway, I don't know. Like we can't predict what's coming.
But let's say this, and I didn't mean this to turn into a Mullett Arena show. But the truth is, everybody that bitches about Mullett Arena and going to Mullett Arena hasn't been to Mullett Arena. The people that have gone to games at Mullett Arena from whatever market they come from think, wow, this is pretty cool. And I'm talking Canadian fans. There were plenty of them at the game the other day, and I said this on that show. You came down to 80-degree weather. You golfed all day, and you went to a hockey game where you said 5 rows from Austin Matthews, and you're pissed. Like, come on. If you've been to a game there, I haven't had one person go, well, I'm not so sure. It's cool. And I know we can't do it. This franchise can't do it forever. They can't. But for right now, stop the hating, because until you jump on a plane from the throes of Moose Jaw and get out of the 20 below weather and come down here where it's 80 degrees and see a game, shut the hell up. Thank you.
Well, speaking of Moose Jaw, the Coyotes are headed out on the Great Canadian Road Trip. We don't have to spend too long. Starts this Sunday against Winnipeg. When will the Coyotes...
Are they moving?
I heard we should talk more about that on a Monday.
They're going to Salt Lake, aren't
they?
Too soon.
But listen, anytime you mention it, like, but Arizona, come on.
I know.
Right? Yeah, you're right. But like, you really think they're going to expand to more Canadian cities that are smaller than Winnipeg? Not a chance.
Where are you eating tonight? If you're on the plane going to Winnipeg, Craig, because you've been there, where are you eating in Winnipeg after the plane lands? There's really only one answer.
I actually know the answer.
Go ahead. Yeah,
it's Joey's.
Yeah, it is Joey's.
Not a sponsor.
Joey's, not a sponsor. Max.
I'm also going to say, are there a lot of options, Petey?
No, it's Joey's. I'm just saying, like within a 4-block walk, it's Joey's.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to venture out or get an Uber and climb over snowbanks and you get your dress shoes dirty in the horrifically dirty snow, because it's dirty snow because they use dirt there, not salt, and so it's just a brown, like it's this Winnipeg. The feel of Winnipeg is just this dirty brown, freezing cold tundra. Am I lying?
Nope.
Like, I'm sorry,
it's
just reality. And we walk to Joyce because you can see it from the hotel. And you go, oh, it's right there. It's right there. You can see it. On the way there, you can barely feel your fingers. And you go, this was stupid. And then you eat your meal and have a few cocktails. And you go, oh, I can make it back. And on the way back, it's worse. You go, what in the hell? One, why are we here? Like, why not room service?
I've been to Joey's.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, that's where I was going. But I got to be honest. Most of the time when I go to Winnipeg, you know what my food choice is? Yeah, it's room service.
Room service.
I ain't leaving the hotel room because it's too damn cold outside.
There you go.
Oh, boy. All right. Well,
they're not going to win either, by the way.
No.
Let's throw the hockey part
Montreal might be the first opportunity to win that's the Tuesday game. So it's Winnipeg Sunday, Montreal Tuesday, Toronto Thursday, Ottawa Friday.
And then Washington Sunday.
But that's so fun because they're not part of the Canadian
Washington's
part,
3 or 4 in a row now too, and they're starting to try to make a push. Tampa's the one falling in the East. Washington's making a push. Winnipeg's going to throttle them. Sorry, I mean Winnipeg. I've talked to some other NHL people over the last 2 days, and they're not as high on Winnipeg as I am. I like Winnipeg. I think this is a team that's up and coming. Montreal is going to be an interesting one to me on how they can compete in Montreal. And not only that, Craig, how are they going to compete on ice? What's the media going to be like for the next week?
That's what I think about. Like, they're especially in Montreal and Toronto, they're gonna ask a lot of questions about this. I'm not sure they go there in Winnipeg, given the current situation.
Yeah.
In Ottawa, I mean,
but they're going to hear about the arena and Mullett and the PA's stance on the Mullett and Marty Walsh's comments on the Mullett. Yeah. They're going to hear about it for the next 8 days.
Oh yeah.
That's off the ice. On the ice, I like this comment from Keith earlier. If the penalties continue to rack up, can you guys make an alternate PHNX t-shirt replacing Arizona against everybody with Arizona against themselves?
I actually don't hate that.
That's good, Keith.
That's good.
They really are against themselves, but we will break everything down after all of those games. So make sure you stick around with PHNX Sports YouTube channel. But listen, it's tough out here to be a Coyotes fan sometimes. Sometimes you need a little help to get through. And we have our friend OG's brands to help us get through being a Coyotes fans, whether you're looking for Indica, Sativa, Microdose, Sleep Edition, the big OGs. You might need something so big. If you're a vegan, they of course have the OGs Naturals as well. And OGs, I mean, those flavors are delicious, whether it's the fruits or the creams. I think it's the most underrated part of OGs, how yummy they are. I'm telling you. So to learn more about OG's gummies and where you can find them, head on over to ogsbrands.com.
And then we have to go to America's thirst stop, gas stop, and soon to be talked about snack stop. You need to join the free membership program at Circle K, the Inner Circle. You save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, save 3 cents per gallon every day after that, and you get every 6th item free on a selection of products, including their pizza, their coffee, and their ice-cold fountain drinks, and their no-sweat cup holder pops. But the bigger issue is the snacks. We love their snacks. We talk about their snacks. We eat their snacks.
When we can.
But first, join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. Is it time?
It's time. So just for a little backstory, if you were not watching or listening to Wednesday's show, I will quickly summarize what happened. CWP and Chris, two diehards, they're here in the chat today, generously gifted everybody in the office Valentine's Day gifts. And each basket for each beat was thoughtfully thought of with things that we like.
Thoughtful.
Yes, they're personalized.
Kettle cooked chips,
personalized
donuts,
Circle K kettle cooked
popcorn
chips.
and M&Ms.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Yep.
So
eat them every game.
There's been a lot of, there were some internet issues in the office. Craig and I were sick. We didn't get in until Tuesday.
Yep.
So Craig and I got to see, Petey was off. Craig and I got to see the contents of the basket. We were overjoyed with excitement.
Thoughtful.
3 sleeves of donuts.
I leave the office at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Here it comes. I returned to the office at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. And what's happened? The popcorn, one of the bags of popcorn is half eaten on the table. The bag of chips, half eaten on the table. The M&Ms, gone. So this means war.
Yeah.
I put out a video on my Twitter account. I called everybody out in Slack. So we are calling, this is a kangaroo court. We are going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
And I would like to call our first witness who actually has a confession.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
So Danielle, let's bring him in. It's Eric Ruby, PHNX producer.
Wait. I'm sorry. Can you state your name for the audience, please?
My name is Eric Ruby. I come here humbly in front of the court of PHNX Coyotes. I'd like to first apologize.
Eric, Eric, I'd like to ask the questions here, okay?
I don't know. I think I need to take power back.
All right. Well, do you have something? Do you have a confession to make, Eric?
So I do have a confession to make, but I also have an explanation in that confession. Now, I will say I did eat the kettle cooked chips. Now, however, in my defense, they were not in any specific basket. I feel for you, Coyotes crew. I would never physically reach into your basket and say something that is not mine will be mine. I thought they were on the communal table. I thought that, okay, they're just out and about. There are plenty of Circle K snacks around the office that are for everybody. So I opened the bag of chips. I said, let me not be greedy. I'm not going to eat all of them. I'll leave some for the rest of the people. But yet I get that message and I think to myself, wow, I truly, truly messed up. And after thousands of dollars in legal counsel in the last 2 days, I decided it was the best to just tell the truth. And also, Danielle, I was planning on being in person today. I have a gift for Petey, since they were his chips, that are under my desk, if you could go grab it, because of how awful that I feel.
I will start off with Eric. That might actually be enough to sway the court, because prior to that statement, you were dead to me. I'll tell you this. How long have you worked here?
Just a couple months.
Okay. There's a plethora, an abundance of Circle K snacks. They're literally everywhere. When, in your 4 months, have you ever seen a full-size bag of chips as part of the Circle K snack wagon? The answer
I'm not saying
never.
My judgment was sound. I'm just saying it wasn't
never,
malicious.
Eric. So that answer is bullshit. It's bullshit, because I have never seen a full-size snack bag. Now, Eric, This is retribution. You've made up for it, and I'm over it.
So what is the decision of the court on?
Oh, he's guilty of sin. We're guilty, but give a shit. There's 20 fucking red boxes on the thing. It's Valentine's.
But we're just going to let him off with a fine, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have a fine to be named later.
Eric,
okay?
we appreciate you coming forward. You're the only one who has confessed.
It took courage.
See, that's
Eric
what I'm saying about all of this, man.
Community service.
Listen, I know there hasn't been a big bag elsewhere,
Guilty.
but to be fair, it was not in the Coyotes' bag. And for whoever has taken the M&Ms and reached into somebody's bag and physically took something out of there, that's the true criminal here. And I'm waiting to see if somebody could follow my lead and be an upstanding citizen who can admit when there is some wrongdoing.
There's a lot of nervous people.
Okay, well, Eric, you're guilty, but
no, he's off the hook.
You're off the hook.
We're friends again. Thanks.
Okay.
I much appreciated this. And by the way, Coyotes fans, they have not won since I have not had.
Yeah, you need to get snacking on Sunday.
Since I have not had the Kettle Cooked Classics from Circle K.
All right, Eric Ruby, no further questions
for you.
You
are dismissed from the court.
Thanks,
you.
Eric. Thank you, guys.
Right.
Thank you,
Eric. Danielle, we are done with Eric. We have a new witness to call to the stand. We might need... Does this witness want to be on camera? Yes. Okay. Come forward, witness. Come sit in the chair. We have Jacob Franklin. We're calling to the stand. Actually, I don't know who this man is.
I've never seen this person. I've never seen this person before.
I've never seen this person before. Okay. So you have some evidence to present to the court.
Yep.
Okay. What's the evidence?
Not naming names, but Lindsey Smith.
Wow.
The first night that these bins,
Bo is shocked.
These bins in question, the first night that they were dropped off, it was very apparent that the Coyotes crew, obviously loved by everybody that watches PHNX, had the most snacks. Lindsey Smith said, quote and unquote, "Should I take some donuts? I'm not sure they would know if they were missing."
Wow. This is shocking evidence.
Can you tell the court which night this was?
February 13th.
Okay. Approximately what time did this occur?
I believe it was before pregame that night, so somewhere around 6 p.m.
Sir, we don't want to ask you your name because I don't want to reveal your identity, but did you actually witness one Lindsey Smith removing something from the Coyotes basket?
No witness, no.
Okay.
No.
Do you think if we dusted for fingerprints, we might find something?
I think it's tough to dust for fingerprints when the office isn't cleaned very often.
Okay, so Lindsey is officially a suspect.
Lindsey Smith, you're a suspect.
Lindsey, if you want to call in and defend yourself, any other evidence you'd like to present to the court?
No.
Okay, all right. Thank you to this mystery witness. Would anybody else watching like to come present evidence to the court? Mm-hmm. We have a huge audience. No one's stepping forward. So I'll
would a certain Cardinals, PHNX Cardinals.
Bo has been accused.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
Bo has been accused in our Slack.
First off,
could you state your name for the court, please?
Yes, it's Bo Brock,
host of PHNX
Cardinals 4:30 live today. Join us if you would.
And do you have something to say to the court?
Yeah, I think that this is a sham. I think this is an absolute sham, and it's a miscarriage of justice. I hear a guy like Eric Ruby, he's basically bullied into putting himself as a guilty individual. I saw Eric Ruby take chips and put them on a plate as a meal. And you guys are going to persecute him. You're going to try to put him on trial. Say, would you like a ketchup packet with those chips, Eric? And you guys are sitting here and saying that he stole. He was just trying to feed himself.
Bo, I would like to add a line of questioning here.
Sure.
So you
I'm
saw
not
him
on trial, though.
You sat down in the court.
I'm not on trial.
You're on the stand.
You saw him. You saw him do this.
What's that?
You saw him do this. You
I
saw
did
him,
see him.
and you did nothing.
Okay. I have another question for you. Were you also complicit in this crime?
I'm not complicit in a crime. If I'm complicit of anything, it's breaking bread with my colleague. And I shared a chip with him. Because I too was in this office when it was
guilty.
It was
guilty.
If I'm guilty of being friends with Eric and having a snack with him, then sure. But I'm not guilty of stealing. Let's think about this. A lion kills an antelope or a zebra.
Okay, wait. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
in the wild,
Okay.
and then just leaves it for a week, it doesn't seem like it's natural to me. You can't just have your food there on the communal table and expect that the rest of the lions are going to come up and eat. Is that wrong? Or it is a great point. Thank you, Mac.
Oh my
I
God.
want to stand up for everybody who is just silent right now. I stand with you. If you're going to have Valentine treats there for over a week and expect that us hungry
how about
wolves, lions aren't going to eat them.
Craig and I
That's
were
on you.
sick all of last week. Plus, there were Wi-Fi issues. We didn't come into the office until Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we saw the basket Tuesday. Craig actually took his donut sleeves home. By the
And I thought
time
that
I
was the
came
safe
in
move.
Wednesday, less than 24 hours later, the popcorn was open, the chips were open, and the M&Ms were gone.
Mr. Brack, do you have any knowledge of who
Pronunciation's
opened
Brock.
Brock?
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge of who opened the popcorn bag?
Yeah.
I don't have any knowledge,
Okay.
but I also did partake in the popcorn.
Well, once it was
also-
open, it's fair game, I guess.
I did.
Did you have any hand in the M&Ms?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Okay.
But I will say
I believe
this. Whoever had the popcorn, and I may or may not know who opened it, I won't be like Franklin and snitch on them.
I can't. All right.
Is Petey around still? Can we call him back? All right. We're going to call you back, Petey.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Brock, for your appearance. Thank
Okay. Anybody else?
you. Where's Petey?
Okay.
Oh,
Espo is coming to the
Espo's
stand.
taking the stand. Okay.
Okay.
What's going on here?
Espo is the
Could you
So-
state your name for the court, please?
Gregory Louis Esposito,
Thank you.
also known as Espo.
Do you have
yeah.
something to say?
I do. I have some evidence to present to the court.
Okay.
Mrs. Craig Morgan let me into Craig's car. And look what I found in the trunk. I found everything that was in question that was supposedly missing in Craig Morgan's trunk.
Yeah.
In his VW, I
Yeah,
found it.
I'd like to see your debit card receipts from today.
I do not spend any money. I'm broke, so I don't have. I found all this in Craig's car. I think it was an inside job. The call was coming from inside the building.
Outright lies.
I think he's guilty.
Outright lies.
Wow. Well, may I counter
Go ahead.
with
Go ahead.
Espo, me witnessing Espo walk in with bags of this new stuff today
Nope.
in the office.
I
happening
I call BS.
My question is how did Espo know that it was 2 bags?
How did it? Okay.
That's a fair question, Saul Bookman.
It wasn't 2 bags of M&Ms. It was
Okay.
1 bag of M&Ms.
Okay.
Seems like something someone with a guilty conscience would do.
Nope.
So, Espo,
Seems like something
Do you
if
have
I bought
anything
it,
to
a good leader would do to make our people happy. But nope, Craig stole it. So
I don't know.
I think this court has deemed you an unreliable witness.
think
You may,
so,
you may
too.
leave the stand now.
nope. No, I'm good. Thanks. Should we accuse anybody else of doing
Well,
anything?
I want to bring up a few more names because there have been some other
Okay,
names. Okay.
Michaela's coming on.
Okay.
I
Because
think we
Michaela
solved
has
it.
been-
Why?
Well, there's still a few witnesses we need to talk to.
That was pathetic.
All right,
It was a
Michaela,
pathetic attempt.
welcome. Please state your name for the record.
Michaela Elizabeth Perkins.
Okay.
Outlawed in the state of Missouri.
Michaela, did you have any hand in this theft? Would you like to say something?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that I was encouraged to come here because somebody in the comments, Roaring Fork, mentioned Nutter Butters, and I was immediately triggered because if you don't know, I've been accused of stealing Craig's Nutter Butters in the past. And so I came here for multiple reasons. One, to clear my name once and for all that I am not the Nutter Butter thief in this office, because the true Nutter Butter thief finally confessed to it the other day, Max Simpson. Of being the one who initiated the stealing of the Nutter Butters and then asked me if I would like some, which to I did reply yes. So I did eat the Nutter Butters. And then after he took them away from me, he set the package on my desk to frame me
Wow.
after that. And he finally admitted to it.
So Max
I am
is
now clearing my name. I did eat Nutter Butters, yes, but Max stole them and asked me if I wanted some. So I am an accomplice. I am not the initiator.
okay.
Sounds like we might have to call Max Simpson to the stand
Well,
in a
by
moment
the
here.
way-
But hold on, I
But
have something to say about Mac.
Wait,
I
the
want-
popcorn
Go ahead.
and the chips were already open when I went into the office. I indulged in a handful
You
of popcorn.
did?
I ate a
Just like
handful
Bo.
of
This is new
popcorn.
information.
Bo can corroborate. Bo can corroborate my story because we both had handfuls of popcorn together but both witnessed the fact that the chips and the popcorn were already open when I went into the kitchen.
So I want to point this out before Mac leaves. Mac went through some tough times with Nutter Butter withdrawal. I was there with her in rehab, holding her hand, and I'm really proud of Mac. She got through it, and there is no more addiction to Nutter Butters or snack stealing. So I'm going to come to Mac's defense here. I don't think Mac is
Mac is
anymore.
innocent.
Yes! Finally! I have waited for this moment for my whole life to be innocent.
Mac,
I do steal burritos, but that's it. Only burritos.
Guilty on that.
Okay.
You may leave the court. We're calling a new witness to the stand.
And they disappeared. It was a magic. No one thought that could be the magic. They disappeared. It was magic.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
That was it.
The Mullett magician has made his case. I don't know. He seems a little suspicious to me, Craig.
Listen,
we
it's
know
been a while
he's been
since
hungry.
the Coyotes won, so he's probably in desperate times right now. And I almost feel for the Mullett magician. He's probably hungry. He's probably in need of some shelf stocking. So if it is in fact the Mullett magician, and we actually didn't get a confession because he left, I'd be okay with that one, actually.
Yeah. So I'm leaning guilty for the Mullett magician, but we're not sure because he ran away so quickly. He just disappeared into thin air. I don't know where he went. Anyone else before we wrap up? Okay, we have Mac Simpson. For some context. No. I have to say something. So Owen Evans yesterday sends me a video of the PHNX Rising
who is not
intern,
here, by the way,
Reese, giving damning evidence about Max. However, I learned today that Owen Evans was the one who ate the caramel chocolate bar from the PHNX D-backs basket. So I have to now dismiss any evidence that Owen has brought forward because of this
Can I put a
crime.
piece of evidence in on Owen as well? When this entire chat was going down in Slack the other day, and Eric was confessing. Eric, it looked like Owen started to type for a moment, and then he stopped. He withdrew from the chat. But I saw it. I have it as evidence.
Owen Evans is a certified scoundrel. That can be
okay.
That's
you have something to say, Max Simpson?
Yeah. Well, first off, I would like to, as a peace offering, just for all the hardship you guys have gone, a little Circle K fruity gummy bears.
I would love
just a nice guy over
fruity bear.
I'm no stranger to being on trial for PHNX. This is now my second trial in a span of about a month. So, yeah, fire away. What you guys got?
Do you have any knowledge of this theft?
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, as the tastemaker around here,
that's two answers. Could you answer yes or no?
Did I say that? Oh,
yeah.
I do not have any knowledge of any of the theft around here. As the tastemaker, the one who really has provided a lot of the Circle K around here. Well, I did not provide these gracious Valentine's Day gifts. As I told you earlier, Mr. Craig Morgan, I have zero interest or reason to steal anything. I'm just going to clear my name right there because I mean, I have access to Circle K essentially whenever I want, through their Inner Circle program you guys can download today. All you need is a phone number, 25 cents off a gallon, some free snacks, everything like that. But no, on the real, it's I have no need to steal. I'm also a horrible liar, and
that is true.
Yeah, I'm clear my name.
I actually think that Max is innocent because
to the Nutter Butters.
Will you admit to the Nutter Butters?
Oh, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yes!
The hilarious thing is the fact that Mac is freaking out means that she's just trying to dilute the fact that while she may or may not have stolen the Nutter Bar, she's also like there's a whole other topic of the green salsa and burritos, which we all know she is absolutely vehemently guilty of. So
that's true, but she did admit to the burritos.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Max.
All right, Max Simpson, thanks for your testimony. We appreciate your time.
All right, well,
is Petey still in the office or has he left for the day?
I don't know where Petey went, but that's okay. Well. Unfortunately, I mean, some new evidence has certainly come to light, but we're not getting any closer to learning who stole the M&Ms and opened the popcorn.
That's the thing. How did everything make its way out of the basket? We don't know that yet. We know now that Eric ate some. We know now that Bo ate some shamelessly. He's still not admitting any guilt.
He doesn't admit of guilt, though.
We know that Mac ate some.
Only after they were open.
Only after they were opened. But Bo knows. Bo knows.
Yeah, Bo knows, and everybody go tweet at him.
We have our suspicions about Lindsey Smith and Owen Evans as well.
Lindsey Smith, there's two things. I almost buy the community snacks. There are stuff on our table constantly. However, with the aforementioned red boxes, I don't think it's a normal snack table. I just don't. Yeah. So all of that, it wasn't bullshit. I don't buy. I swear I don't buy that. But But the difference from inside the snack thing to digging into someone's snack box for the M&Ms was where the true crime was committed.
Yeah.
And that's where my concern level grows.
Lindsay was even talking about taking one of my sleeves of donuts, like Jacob heard her say it. It's a good thing I took him out when I did.
And I think this, the last thing I'm going to say about this, I think it shows the good taste of the diehards that got the snacks to show that our candy was so wanted. Like you look at this, all the other baskets, they're not getting pilfered.
They really didn't get touched, did they?
Oh my God. Wow. Caught red-handed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say
Espo just stole M&M's live
so
on the
whoever
show.
opened them has still yet to come forward. But I'm happy now because snacks have been replenished.
Okay.
And the Coyotes will probably win now.
Yeah, that is true. Well, yeah, thank you to Circle K for just providing A-plus snacks. Thank you to Chris and Charles for getting us the snacks in the first place. And to whoever opened the popcorn and stole the M&Ms, you still have time to come forward and we will respect you for it. So please come forward.
How much longer? How much longer?
Until Sunday.
Until Sunday.
I think you have until Sunday. End of the day, we're going to be in a great mood on Sunday. So Sunday would actually be the best time to come forward. The reason we're going to be in a great mood is because we're hanging out with the diehards, with fans of the Coyotes at Four Peaks to watch the Coyotes take on the Winnipeg Jets. Join us at Four Peaks at 4 p.m. We're going to watch together. Petey's bringing his whiteboard. We're going to do live Petey's Puck Talks. There's going to be drink specials. We're going to eat chicken tendies. We're going to watch the game. It's going to be a blast. We haven't done something like this in so long. We're really excited to get together with everyone. And of course, since we're going to be watching the Coyotes potentially lose their 12th straight game, we need some Four Peaks in hand. Amen. So whether you like Kitlifter or Wow or Peach, whatever it is, Four Peaks, if you've never been to the A Street Pub, they have so much on tap and the food is phenomenal. So see everybody there this Sunday, 4 p.m. at Four Peaks. Visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite beers and events. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please enjoy responsibly.
And Craig will be reciting poetry, I heard someone say. Is that true, Craig?
Yeah. It's going to be like a beatnik thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see you doing that little drum like the yeah, you should bring that because we can't wait for the 8th Street Pub. Can't wait. I mean, it's going to be so much fun. When we talk about talking hockey, like wind me up and let me go. Like I like talking hockey. So I can't wait to talk about all the good things the Coyotes did in the first period. And we'll do that in the first intermission.
The second period. That's the only period.
Yeah, that's true. But the first period, we'll break it all down. The second period, we might have to go to work. Yeah. But before that, we have another event.
Yep.
At 2:00. Can you believe that, Leah? Do you know where it is?
I do.
It is in Papago Park. And it's at, what is it? The Hole in the Rock?
The Hole in the Rock.
Hole in the Rock? See, Max, I don't know. See, that's what I said. Max is here and I get nervous. We're all going to support the Arizona Scratchers, their new game, Arizona Adventures. There's 3 ways to win. 1, scratch the tickets. Leah, show them the tickets.
These tickets are actually the most beautiful lottery tickets
they're pretty cool,
I've ever seen in my life.
They're beautiful tickets.
They're unreal. Look at these.
They're beautiful tickets that have 3 unbelievable locations within the state of Arizona. And there's a rumor that Leah's bringing those Arizona Adventure Scratcher tickets with her to Papago Park. And there will be a raffle. So some of you lucky people that come will be scratching Arizona Adventure Scratchers live at Papago Park. That's one way to win. 2, second way to win, geolocation. One of the geotag, one of the locations of 10 all across Arizona. And Papago Park happens to be one of them. So we're going to help everybody make sure they get geotagged in when they get set up at Papago Park. And the third way to win is send those tickets, or how do you call it, Leah, when you go online and you register? You register those tickets. That's the third way to register. Up to $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It is also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. So be there, 2:00. Watch Craig, I, and Leah, and I think Danielle. Are you walking, Danielle?
Of course.
Yeah, I'm bringing my camera.
Oh, well, she'll be taking pictures, and I think there's going to be a walking and talking. I think we're talking to people. We're going to walk and talk and scratch.
Can't wait.
Oh, wait, that actually didn't sound appropriate.
Yeah.
That didn't sound appropriate.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this Sunday. It's a free event. It's a free RSVP. Make sure you go RSVP right now on the website, gophnx.com/events. We're looking forward to seeing everybody there. There's been a lot of excitement. And make sure, if you're not a diehard, to become a diehard today, go phnx.com/diehard. Get access to our Discord channel. Get access to Craig's Diehard Only Pieces, Diehard Only content weekly, as well as 20% off at phnxlocker.com. So, you guys, what a show. Jam-packed.
Wow.
We still don't have many answers.
We have some, though. We have some.
We have some. We appreciate the PHNX staff for participating. We appreciate Eric Ruby for his confession.
We don't appreciate Bo Brock for
we don't. That was rude.
Not taking accountability for his actions.
Oh, man.
And we'll see everybody in person on Tuesday, on Sunday. That can be here. There's a lot that can. But
yep. Really looking forward to it.
84 degrees and sunny.
Woohoo!
That's hot?
Bring sunscreen.
It's a little hot.
Too hot.
If you can't make it,
umbrella.
Come on, this is Arizona.
No, I'll bring an umbrella.
If you can't make it, that's okay, because you can join us after the game on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Join us in the comments for our post-game show on Sunday. Hope to see everybody there. Make sure you subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the like button on this video, whether you're watching live or later, and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. Enjoy your Saturday, and we will see everybody on Sunday.
We all silly like the mayor.